Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the figuring out just how qualified FE armies are. Now, looking in, the Shepherds might be one of the most unqualified, because when you look at them, like, what, one dude's in proper armor? I'm gonna you kill him. But I think we'll be surprised like we've been every other time in this series. Now, before we begin, the quick rundown of the points. 1 point, they have training and experience in combat. They are as qualified gets. Half a point, they might know how to fight, but they've never been allowed to due to whatever reasons. And 0 points, you're a bum on the street. Now, without further ado, it's Chrom time. Yeah, I'd say Chrom's a point. He's led the Shepherds for an amount of established time before the game begins. I don't know how much, but it's not his first rodeo when he wakes up Robin. So, he's a full point, a well-trained lord. Most lords are well-trained, but not all of them have experience. But Chrom does, even if it is just putting down generic bandits. Robin. You can't get much more pulled off the side of the road than an amnesiac literally pulled on the side of the road. So, I guess maybe they know how to do stuff, but they don't remember anything. They're amnesiac. If there was a negative points, Robin would fit it. Ironic, considering he's the best unit in the game, but funny how that works. I'm not going to put in female Robin because, why would I have both of them? They're the same person. Lissa! Full point! Now, I've established before that, healers with sticks aren't really combat trained, but Lissa is explicitly a medic of the Shepherds. So, I think it's fair to say she has experience in combat and all that jargon. So, congratulations, Lissa. You're one of the few healers that aren't just a pretty lady with a stick that doesn't know anything. Good on you. Fucking Frederick. What do you want me to say here? Look, it's Frederick. Fucking beast. I love that man. Trained knight to boot. He's not just a shepherd. I think he's actually the one that trained Chrom. Or maybe I just think so because that's how this tends to work with things like Jagan and Marcus. But Frederick, A-OK. Good to go. Sully. And Stahl, the toilet-headed knights. I will never understand the knight designs in this game. Both trained knights and shepherds. Not much more I gotta talk about. Very simple to understand. The Cain and Abel archetype is, I think, always consists of trained knights. Well, except Kaze and Saizo, but we'll get to them. So, red and green, A-OK in my book. Varian. I'm going to put him as a point. I think it's safe to say as was he a king or just a duke? I can't remember. He's a high-standing noble. He's had experience in this stuff before. So I think even if his prime battle tactic is running away, still combat experience. So I think this Pomp and Vanville little dude here is worthy of a point. So, I think so. I don't think Varian's completely inexperienced. Vake. It feels weird to put Vake as a point on a professional list, but he is technically a trained shepherd, even if he's as bright as a bag of rocks and doesn't remember his damn weapon. Not much to say about Vake. Strong dude with an axe who's fought other strong dudes with axes, I'm sure. Not gonna talk too much about old Teach. Muriel. Again, trained mage of the shepherds. Not a whole lot I can talk about here. Magic book go boom boom. Muriel gets a leg up on terms of the nerd with a book competition. Sumiya expressly stated that she has not fought in battle before, and Chrom tells her to, hold out on the back lines there. She ignores him, and then we get introduced to the most broken system in the series, but she has not fought before that moment. So, Sumiya, a whole lot of training, not a lot of combat. So, congratulations, pretty lady on a horse. Kellum. I could make the overdone joke about who the fuck is this guy, but I just love Kellum. Trained Armor Knight of the Shepherds. Again, this isn't leaving me a whole lot to talk about that I haven't talked about already, but Kellum's a good boy. I like him. Stop just making memes about him not existing and remember him. though admittedly his Cypher card is one of the funniest cards in the entire game. Donald, again, literally just a dude they took off the street. Not a whole lot to talk about there. It's fucking Donald. His whole gimmick is that he has no experience or training. So sorry, pothead. Can't do too much for you there. Lon Q. He is Basilio's right-hand man. He knows what he's doing. Super fast, super strong, well-trained. Has a lot of emotional problems. He's your edgy sword boy that everyone falls in love with, myself included. Rickon, much like Sumiya, has not fought before he interrupts to save Maribel for much of the same reasons as Sumiya. Chrom's like, "You're not ready for the front lines," and Rickon says, "Look at this fucking hat and tell me I can't do magic." He kind of can't. If I remember correctly, Rickon kind of sucks. But he does have training in book. He is a proficient book reader, which is good enough for half a point here. Maribel, we're going to have to consult the wiki for. Brought to you today by Crashed Video. Okay. It's coming up. What are we sponsored by? Okay, great. Maribel. Does she... Oh, we're sponsored by Justice League. Wonderful. Member of the Shepherds. I guess she's had some experience. Well, Sumiya's also a member of the Shepherds, and she didn't fight before, as was Rickon. I'm gonna put her at half a point. No, a full point, actually. Because these two were expressly stated to not fight in combat and not be ready. So, unless that has been explicitly stated about these others, I think it's safe to say they fought with the Shepherds before. So I'm giving Maribel a point. I could be wrong on that. Pan, the woman that doesn't wear pants. She's a point. Trained Tagwell warrior. She's definitely murdered people before, I'm certain. Not much else I gotta say. She does kind of just show up out of fucking nowhere. Why the fuck were the Tagwell in Awakening? Like, I know why the Tagwell were in Awakening. It was because, they're like, we need to cram everything in here. But Pan just shows up with this mysterious race, and then it's not important at all ever. Fucking weird. Alright, Gaius. Trained thief, much like Julian or Rickard and all that, like, he's a thief. Sure, he doesn't have combat training, but that's not what he's there for. He's probably, this is where he starts to get super good at thieving, because he doesn't even need a lockpick. He just, I don't know, looks at a chest until it opens for him. I don't know how that works. But Gaius, definitely a point. He is a thievy boy that knows what he's doing. Cordelia. I remember she was a new recruit to the Knights, but I don't think she was... Was she green by the time they all died? I think she's had some experience. So, yeah, Cordelia's a point. The Pegasus Knight, not a whole lot I gotta talk about there, Just Knight, Pegasus. Best character in the game. He's a trained mercenary. He beats Basilio, and he could have been Khan, if I remember correctly, but he turned it down because he's just not about that lifestyle. So, Gregor, good on you, man. A+. Naui, like every other Manakete, child. I'm going to say that one more time. Child. Alright, we established that? Good. I better not catch any of you all Naui fuckers in the chat. Chat. Comments. I don't even use Twitch. I watch too much Twitch. Libra. A trained war cleric. Which is a unique position he's in. Most trained clerics are like fucking Saloof. Or, just dudes with staffs. This is a pretty boy with a fucking axe. I love him. Tharja, trained Plaguean Dark Mage. Nerd with a book. Not too much to say. She was actually part of an army, so she's a bit different than the nerds with books of the series norm. Good on you. Anna. I think a point? I mean, she's a merchant. but it's clear she's defended herself before, so likely has some combat training. I'm going to say she has experience. That's another point you can debate me on, but I think it's safe to say Anna is worthy of a point. Good on you, babe. My first S support here. I love her. Olivia! I've gone on record saying shaking your ass cheeks is not a combat experience, but she was actually stated to be trained by Basilio to defend herself. She's not very good at it. You really don't want to use her for anything other than dancing, but she technically can do it. So, thanks to the bald, beautiful man, she gets a point. But dancing is not combat experience, but you get to be an exception. Cherche, trained Wyvern Knight. Again, not too much I gotta talk about here. Like, she rides around on a dragon and kills people. You don't gotta get much more than that for my book. Henry! Looking back, Henry shows right the fuck up out of nowhere, doesn't he? Literally, he just shows up in a storm of crows and like, heh, and then he's a part of your army. But he is a trained Plaguean Dark Mage. Another one of my favorite characters. He's a gimmick done well because his gimmick doesn't get old. His gimmick is that he's happy. So, wonderfully creepy, wonderfully morbid. I love him. And he's a full point to boot, even if his only friends are animals. Sayri, I forget you exist, but you are a trained swordsmaster of Chonin? Chosin? I don't fucking remember anything about her or that entire part. That arc is Walhart's arc, and anything else without Walhart in it, I just kind of tone out. Tiki! Fought in, 2 wars in this point? Been in 4 games? I ain't got to elaborate much on Tiki. She is a killer. The cons! I love them dearly, and I would really wish that they didn't just kind of get ignored in the fandom overall. Like, when you think about the Shepherds, you think about all the young, pretty faces, but you don't think about these two. And Basilio's fucking Cerberus dog collar there makes no fucking sense. But other than that, I love him. I love Flavia. Great trained leaders that kick a lot of ass. Now, here's a fun little thing I'm about to do. You see, this is the entire 2nd generation. And we're just gonna put them all on there. Because as the DLC states, they have been fighting in the ruined world for quite some time. They've all, not willingly, had to fight for the future. And that's really cool, and it makes my job super easy. Because I don't know if I should count Morgan. It's been a long time since I played Future Past, but aren't they evil or something? Origins are a mystery. Blah, 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 Ruins of Time. Male Morgan is the boss there. They're brainwashed Gryman. Yeah. They're brainwashed by Grima. So, I think they still fought. Since we put male Robin, we'll put female Morgan. Yeah, I think that's fair. Brainwashed or no, they've still fought. They still can do damage. So, A+ from me. Good on you, Morgan. Also, something I've always wondered is, there's little to no difference between male and female Robin. They're the same character. But there's, a very noticeable difference between the Morgans. And I've never understood that. I guess because since Morgan isn't the main character, they were allowed a bit more freedom. Whereas because Robin had to be an integral part of the story, they couldn't change their character much. I guess I just answered my own question. And that would be it, but I asked, and you all said to count the paralogue characters. So, time to inflate Awakening's numbers. Because they're all well-trained, except one. Gangrel, Walhart, Yenfei, even from an alternate universe, Aversa, and Priam are all well-trained fighters. In fact, you fought them while they were well-trained fighters. So not too much to talk about there. I guess I can add that among the characters in this game, Gangrel and Walhart are 2 of my favorites. I don't think the paralogs are canon, because if they are, fucking Gangrel and Emerin not dying is really stupid. But the only character that it makes sense for is Walhart, because Walhart's like, huh, like the stronger ideal should be the one that prevails, and if Chrom proves to him he has the stronger idea, Walhart would bow to it. Like, that makes sense. None of the others, like Yenfei coming from an alternate timeline where Sayri dies instead of him, is a neat idea, but Yenfei fucking sucks, so like a neat idea is wasted on a nothing character. I don't even remember fucking Aversa's story. I played through it once and completely forgot about her, so maybe that's actually good. I just remember not giving a shit. And Priam is actually also one of my favorite characters in this game, because I love the concept of, like, Ike tackles, like, prejudice and racism by banding people together to fight God. And Priam's, like, his descendant way down the line, Priam's, like, honoring Ike's lineage by getting a bunch of people from nations together just to beat the shit out of each other. And that is magical. I love you, Priam. Love him. Oh yeah, and Emerin. She, much like Robin, is an amnesiac pulled off the side of the road. That's 0 points. Maybe if she had her memories, that'd be a full point, but she's an amnesiac. She doesn't even know her own damn name, or does she? I don't fucking know. So 0 points from her. Also, if she lives, that's fucking stupid. That's why I didn't want to count the spot pass characters, because it just feels like it fucks with the story and is not canon, but I will bow to the whims of the YouTube comment section and include them. And now that I have included them, we have the whole list. The main thing about this one is that they have almost no half points, but they have they have more no points than normal, but this still is a very, very good looking army. Like, these are all trained individuals, except Rickon and his big hat. So, let's get down to it and calculate it. So, how many characters are in Awakening? 10, 20, 30, 40, 43, 45, 49. Couldn't just be 50 and a nice even number. Nah, fuck you. Alright, 49. And out of 49, we have 10, 20, 30, 40, 43, 44 divided by 49. 44 divided by 49. And that gets us roughly 90% professional. Very close to rivaling New Mystery and Thracia for most professional. Was it New Mystery and Radiant Dawn, I think, were the two. I'm going to look through all of these after I'm done for one final video to analyze everything and correct mistakes I might have made, but I'm pretty sure the Shepherds are high up there. This is an actual army. Again, it feels like that shouldn't be surprising anymore, but it kind of is. Like, these armies are actual armies. I think it's just because people looked at kids like Ross or Dew and were like, everything's like that. No. Also, not even including in actual warfare, armies often did consist of really young people. I think if you couldn't fight at 13, you weren't a real man or some shit. I don't fucking know. But yeah. Thank you all so much for watching. Again, I love the comments I get on these. They're all very nice. They're very like, hey, I see this, but did you consider this? Like, I love those. I really appreciate that discussion. Next time, we're just going to do all of Fates in one. Well, I'm not splitting it up by how competent is the Hoshido army? How competent is... Fuck that. I'm just doing them all at once. And then after that, it's going to be time for 3 houses. And then we'll be done. I'll just have like a one video, like amending all the mistakes I've made throughout the whole thing, giving a definitive list and saying which is the most professional. So, look forward to that. But we're almost done with this series. Thank you all for watching, and I gotta think of a funny joke to leave on. I don't have a funny joke. Donald's wearing a pot. Now laugh.